LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication welcomes you to the session of wireless communication. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 4, that is Multiple Access Techniques, with topic FDMA and TDMA. So let's start the session. First of all, why multiple access is necessary? So commonly the multiple access is basically the sharing of radio frequency. Now it can be either in terms of channel or either in terms of band or either in terms of the frequency channels. So here we can talk about the multiple access or multiplexing, like the sharing of resources by many number of users, that is called as multiple access technique. Now in the multiple access technique we can say that the multiple users share the same set of channels. Now if the multiple users share the same set of channels, then we can say that the capacity of the whole system can be performed better than the earlier one. So here the multiple access techniques or the protocols that can be used are of two types. Either it can be of fixed type or either it can be of dynamic type. Now we can understand this fixed type of multiple access protocol or dynamic type of multiple access protocol with the help of channel assignment techniques. So in terms of fixed channel assignment, we can say that from the unit number 2, cellular cell concept, we can understand these two terms. Like in case of fixed channel assignment, we have derived that fixed number of channels are assigned to the particular user. So here also the fixed number of channels are assigned to the fixed number of users. Means it is one type of predetermined allocation of resources. Either it can be your channel or it can be band or any other resources, but it is fixedly available to some user only. The other user cannot use that. The second one is dynamic channel assignment, or we can say that in case of dynamic type of multiple access protocol, according to the user requirement, the set of channels can be available to users. So it can be of dynamic type of multiple access technique. Now basically the multiple access technique is the ability to simultaneously use of data and voice, because in wireless communication user can either transmit data or the voice from the transmitter and to receiver end. So in case of multiple access that can be possible, because with the multiple access we can say that many number of users can transmit from one end to another end or access the resources from the one end to another end. It is from transmitter side to receiver side that can be possible with multiple access techniques. Now basic classification of these multiple access techniques are: first one is CDMA. CDMA means code division multiple access. FDMA means frequency division multiple access technique. Third one is TDMA, means time division multiple access technique. I can explain you all the three techniques one by one. So let's start first with the diagram of the multiple access technique in case of FDMA, TDMA and CDMA. So let's see, this is the diagram for frequency division multiple access. Here you can see that the graph is for frequency versus time graph. FDMA means frequency division multiple access. So here in the diagram you can see that the frequency is divided according to the number of bands. So here you can see that this whole frequency band is divided into the band 1, band 2 up to the band n, and these bands are allotted to the number of users. We can understand this in detail. For the next technique of multiple access is TDMA technique. So here again we can say that frequency versus time graph is there. So in this second number of graph you can say that the time is divided into the number of slots. Instead of, in case of FDMA, we have seen that in case of FDMA frequency is divided, while in case of TDMA you can see that time is divided into the number of slots. So it is called as time division multiple access. Now the third technique is code division multiplexes. In case of code division multiplexes, again frequency versus time graph is there. But instead of the frequency division or time division, here one type of pseudo-random code that is called as a PN sequence is generated, and according to that the data is transmitted. So this is the common diagram of all the three techniques. Now let's understand one by one each one of them. First of all, let's talk about the FDMA technique. So in case of FDMA, in the previous slide we can see that frequency, in case of frequency division multiplexes, the whole frequency band or spectrum is divided into the number of bands. Here in the diagram that is drawn over here, you can see that here frequency bands are divided into the number of individual bands. Band 1 is allotted to one particular user, then band 2 is allotted to the other user. So in case of FDMA, the frequency division can be done. So we can say that the full form is frequency division multiplexes. Here the available number of channels are divided into the number of bands, and if FDMA channel is not used, it will be idle. Now we can understand this statement by using the fixed channel assignment technique. In case of fixed channel assignment technique, we have seen that the particular fixed number of users are allowed to use the fixed number of channels. Now the same case can be understood with the help of FDMA. In case of FDMA, you can also say that the FDMA channel is not in use, then it will be idle. Means it cannot be used by the any other available user. Means completely resources wasted, that particular channel cannot be used by the other user. So we can say that resource wastage is possible, and that is the biggest limitation of FDMA, that if even the channel is free at a time, then also the other user cannot use that. Even there is also some distortion present that we will see in the nonlinear effect of FDMA, and because of that nonlinearity generated in the FDMA, we can say that some amount of filtering is necessary to get the available number of channels. Obviously, the complexity is less because the one particular user uses the one channel, so that individual user uses the individual set of channels. So we can say that complexity is less in case of this technique FDMA. Even in case of FDMA, the continuous transmission method is used because the predetermined data transmission, and because of that it can transmit the data smoothly or continuously from the transmitter end to receiver end. Now let's see the nonlinear effect of FDMA, and because of this nonlinear effect, we can say that distortion is present, and because of that, as we already discussed, that in case of FDMA we need filtering. So in the multiplexing of FDMA, the same antenna is used at the base station. Now because of the same antenna used at the particular base station, we can say that in that case the maximum power is possible. Now because of this maximum power possible or maximum amount of power transmitted at the further end, because of that the non-linearity is generated. Now because of this non-linearity, we can say that the signal is distorted when it comes to the receiver end. And if this distortion is present, we can say that there may be a case of IM. Now IM means the intermodulation. It is also always an undesirable term, and we should try to get it to the minimum level. So to reduce this IM level, or because of the maximum power transmit, we can say that the FDMA needs more filtering compared to the other technique. And because of that, as we discussed in unit number 2, that adjacent channel interference can be generated. Now the adjacent channel interference is nothing but the interference between the channels that uses adjacent in frequency. So because of that, you can say that as a result of it, the spectrum can be distorted. As I already discussed, that intermodulation, that IM factor should be as minimum as possible. for the case of FDM. Next is number of channels available. Now based on this topic, the example or short question can be asked. So for the number of channels, the equation can be used is Bt minus 2 times guard band divided by Vc. Now in this equation, you can see that this Bt is number of channels, total number of channels available to the spectrum. D guard means the guard band that is required for this. Vc means channel bandwidth. You can find out the channel bandwidth if in the example simplex channels or duplex channels are given, then you have to simply multiply it with the factor 2. So you can get the number of channels or channel bandwidth allotted to user. For this case, please note that the individual user uses the individual set of frequencies. So according to it, you should find out the total number of channels. Now let's take one small example related to it. Consider the problem statement that if a cellular cell operator is located at a 10 MHz for each simplex band, and if total bandwidth that is available is 10 MHz and D guard is 10 kHz, and in case of channel bandwidth, we should take this as a 30 kHz. Now the various terms that are given in the problem statements are the channel bandwidth, total bandwidth and guard bandwidth. Now you should use the equation that we already discussed, that Bt minus 2 times guard band divided by Vc. So let's use the same equation, Bt minus 2 times guard band divided by Vc. So now according to this problem statement, let's put the values in it. So here the total bandwidth is given, that is 10 MHz, means 10 into 10 raised to 6. Guard band is 10 kHz, means 10 into 10 raised to 3, and channel bandwidth is 30 kHz, means 30 into 10 raised to 3. So let's put all in this equation. So we get Bt minus 2 times guard band. So if you put all the values, the answer will be 332.66. But the channels should be in integer. So the available channels is 333 number of channels. So this type of one marker can be asked, that find out the number of channels available for the cellular operator. Now let's discuss the types of frequency division multiple access. So first type is FAMA, FDMA. FAMA means fixed assigned multiple access, frequency division multiple access, fixed assigned. Now in the same way that we discussed in the unit number 2 about the channel assignment technique, this is the same case. FAMA, FDMA means fixed assigned number of channels or predetermined assigned number of channels are available to users, and because of that this fixed type of channel assignment technique, we can say that the particular user uses the same set of channel, and if that user is not available, then in that case you cannot use that particular channel by the other user, means it can be completely rejected. So this is the case of FAMA, FDMA. Now it is concerned with the logical link between the stations, means between the two base stations it can be connected, and it is not flexible because it is one type of predetermined set of channel allocation technique, and because of that it cannot provide the flexibility to the system, means the other user cannot access the same set of channels. The next one is DAMA, FDMA. DAMA means the demand assigned multiple access, frequency division multiple access. Demand assigned means the according to the use of the user or according to the requirement of the user. This DAMA, FDMA, dynamic demand assigned multiple access technique should be used. So we can say that here on demand the channel is available to the user. Now if the channels are available on the demand of user, we can say that the capacity or the rate of service can be greatly increases, or we can say that the upstream performance also increases. Also the increases in the number of users that can be possible with the demand assigned multiple access technique, frequency division multiple access. Now the second technique of multiple access is TDMA. TDMA means time division multiple access. The full form is time division multiple access. Here in the figure you can see that the frequency versus time graph is there, and the division will be done on the axis of time, means the number of time slots are divided like TS0 to TS1, TS8. So here the number of time slots are divided in the case of time division multiple access. Here the number of time slots instead of frequency band is there. Here the higher amount of equalizer is necessary because here the data is transmitted in terms of time slots. So here the more synchronization is necessary because the individual, instead of the individual use by the individual user, here the data can be transmitted in terms of the burst or in terms of the frame. So here the equalization is necessary. As I discussed, the data is transmitted in terms of burst, means because of that we can say that the frame can be used, and because of the frame use the synchronization is necessary in this case, but the minimum guard band is required between the time slots. Higher synchronization because of time slots division and frame type of transmission. Obviously, because of the highest amount of synchronization and data is transmitted in terms of burst, so low battery consumption instead of the high battery consumption that are required in the case of FDMA. So this is the advantage of TDMA in TDMA over FDMA. Obviously, the handoff is simple, means you can easily access any number of band to the end user, or if one want to move from the one base station to another base station, that can be easily done with the help of this TDMA technique. Time slots will be done in the case of frame. Now let's see the frame structure, that how the data is transmitted from the transmitter end to receiver end. So for that, consider this figure. In this case, the one TDMA frame will be drawn, and here in the last one time slot is that. Because of the data is transmitted in terms of frame, you can see that this one time slot is multiplied by many number of users to get the one particular frame. So here for the one time slot, that can be divided into the guard band, synchronous bits, control bits. In between the control bits and CRC, there will be information will be transmitted, and if this type of one TDMA slot is multiplied by the many number of users, then you can see that the slot 1, slot 2 to slot n is multiplied, and it will be transmitted in terms of frame. So for the frame, the structures will be the preamble, then information bits, and lastly the trail bits are there. So this is the complete TDMA frame structure, and by using this frame structure, data is transmitted so that here in case of TDMA, the synchronization is must. Now let's talk about the number of channels in case of TDMA. So in case of TDMA, the equation for the number of channels is M into BT minus B guard, 2 times B guard divided by BC. Where M, here the difference between the formula of FDMA and TDMA is this M. Instead of only BT minus 2 times guard band divided by BC, we use the number of users, because in case of TDMA, the many number of users can use the same channel instead of the individual user uses the same individual channel. So here the M is, as I said, M is the maximum number of TDMA users, then BT is total spectrum allocation, B guard is guard band allotted, and BC means channel bandwidth. So based on that, we can say that efficiency can be calculated if you know about the number of channels. So efficiency is basically a percentage of bits that can be transmitted per frame. So for that, you have to calculate first the bit overhead. Bit overhead is actually needed for the number of reference bits, number of preamble, as well as the number of guard bands for that particular case. So for this, first of all, let's consider that in that equation, NR is number of reference bursts, NT is number of traffic per frame, DR is number of overhead bits per reference bits, BP is number of overhead per preamble, and DG is number of guard band that is available to the user. So now from this by using this all terms, one can calculate the number of total bits per frame. So calculating the total bits, Bt is equal to Tf into R, where R is the rate and Tf is the total per frame. Tf is the frame duration and R is the channel rate. We can also calculate the channel rate by dividing it by the time period. So by using these all terms, we can calculate the TDMA frame efficiency. So it is basically given by the formula, that is eta m is equal to 1 minus bit overhead upon bt into 100, because we want to calculate it in terms of percentage, where bit overhead can be calculated by the terms nr, nt and t, okay, and bt is total number of bits. So we can calculate the frame efficiency by using this equation. Okay. Up to this, if you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you for watching.